John Curtice, a professor from Strathclyde, who is wheeled out generally to talk about election results or election proposals, prognosis, fortune-telling, was similarly abused, as I was, on a Russian TV network called NTV, not MTV, and we both appeared on a program hosted by a woman called Zaynalova, and we were both dubbed. And we were both dubbed with things that we never said. We were overdubbed. And I had the evidence, and there's a very nice article that the BBC eventually did and put out, which demonstrates very clearly what happened, and John Curtice and I were both in the same bag. Now, John Curtice has just been addressing the Conservative Party conference and pointing out that at the point when Liz Truss was elected leader of the Conservative Party was trailing Labour by about 9 points. Now it's gone down by a further 7, and he thinks that it is almost certain that Labour will win the next election. In fact, he says it is certain that Labour will win the next election. There is no way that the Conservatives, even should Kwasi's bizarre mini-budget work, there is no way that the Conservatives can pull back their lead. It is extraordinary that the Conservatives entered the beginning of this year with a bounce and have managed to squander everything by getting rid of Boris, by focusing so absolutely on the problems, the internal problems, and then further having an indulgent summer where they focus on a squabble between two limp alternatives, one slightly limper than the other, and chose the slightly limper one, and she in turn has managed to choose and then blame the limpest Chancellor of the Exchequer that I think we've had in history, and a person who potentially will be in office for the shortest time in history. And should he remain in office by pure chance and by the spite of the Prime Minister, he will be there simply as her whipping boy, a thing that she demonstrated adroitly this morning on breakfast television when she gave an interview. One interview that, bizarrely, she tried to talk over the interviewer rather than opt for silence. And indeed, her hand gestures have become a little bit more animated. I don't know how that happened. Maybe she's been having hand practice in number 10 while she was in hiding.